May your blade chip and shatter. All right, now what the heck was that all about? Well, I got a nice opportunity last night. My son said, "Hey, Dad, they're having a preview showing of Dune 2. Do you want to go?" And I like the old Dune. I'm one of the people that actually liked the old Dune. I enjoyed it. A little weird, yeah, a couple spots, you know, but you know what? If you like ASMR, you probably like the old Dune because there's a lot of whispering. There's like all this internal monologue where, like Paul, the main character, he'll be just like, it's like the spice, it's doing this to me, or just something like that, or the, um, uh, I can't remember what they're called, but like his mother and her mentor, and that they speak to each other through whispers in the mind.
I know she has come to test him. No man has ever been tested with the box. Tonight, I may lose my son.
Things like that. So I kind of think if you like ASMR, you kind of might like the old Dune, just because of that. Anyway, so that's where I was last night. IMAX Dune Part 2. So yeah. And so here's the worms. Look at all the worms. 1, 2, 3, 3 worms. And saw it at the IMAX. That was pretty exciting. And so I want to give you a review. Now, no, it's not James Bond related, but I have found that those who enjoy James Bond are not just Bond fans. A lot of them really are big movie buffs, big movie fans, such as Star Wars, Star Trek, other franchises that they really enjoy. Lord of the Rings, just really get into a big franchise. Now, here's something interesting. I didn't think part one of Dune, not the old original, but the new part one, I was kind of like, eh, eh. I mean, I didn't think it was bad, but I was still kind of, I, I wasn't like really sold on it. They re-released it. Me and my son, we went and saw the re-release. I think I liked it better the second time I watched it in the re-release. I think I understood it a little bit more. But so I was like, it's okay. That's how I felt about part one. It's okay. But after we watched part two last night, I was blown away at how good it was. Now, I thought part one they could have shaved like an hour off of part one. It just there was it just long and drawn out in parts where it didn't feel like it needed to be. Part two, the timing, the pacing, everything worked extremely well. Character develop in part two was even better than part one. You got on more of a personal level with individuals, and it felt good. There were like feel good moments in there. And the visuals, of course, fantastic. And now here's something kind of funny. I still like the worm design of the old movies better than the new movie. I kind of I like that the trifold mouth, of the worms from the old movie. I apologize for the bird. If if I had to wait for a moment where the house would be silent for me to record these videos, I would never be able to make them. So I just have to live with it. I have to live with the whining of my computer. I have to live with the bird, cars driving by, people talking to each other through the house. I've got a family, so what do you got to do? So I try my hardest for you. Anyway, so I really liked part two, and I think it's going to have a long run in the theater. Audience was clapping at the end of it. It's not officially released until this end of this week, and everybody was grabbing a poster at the end. And this is like a mini poster. If I had a full size poster, that would have been nice. Um, but if I did have a full size poster, I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want IMAX on it. I'm sorry, I'm not dissing IMAX. I'm just saying if I had a keepsake poster, I was going to hang on my wall. I don't want it to have the big IMAX. I'll just take the worms with Dune and all this stuff here. I mean, that's a cool picture. I think the IMAX just kind of gets in the way of a cool picture. But most people don't grab all these little posters. I work in a theater, and not for IMAX, but I work for a different theater, and they have these little posters and stuff. Very few people take them. Usually, you find them all in the theaters after the end of the movie. People were taking this poster, and they were treating them tenderly on the way out of the theater. So that told me how they felt about the movie right there. And we had a guy. I stopped me and my son on the way out, and he goes, "Hey, I've asked a few people. Do you think they're going to keep this going? Do you think they'll keep going?" And I said, we were just talking about that very thing. Why do they only make Dune? They've got old versions, they've got miniseries. Why do they only make this book into a movie? There's other books where the story continues. Well, they kind of leave it open. They could continue these, and just in talking with this guy, it was an older than me, him and his wife, and I think they were just so impressed with part two that they were just like, they've got to keep this going. They got to keep this franchise going. I gotta agree. All right, so I like the old movie. I've never read the books. In junior high, all my friends were just like, "Oh, you can't read those books. They're long. They're do." They had all these excuses. I listened to them, and I've never read the books. Some of the other reviews I've seen online talking about this movie, they talk about, oh, it didn't hold true to the book. I mean, we all, as Bond fans, even we know that that's extremely true. Very, very few times can they make a movie and hold it true to the book. They can come close sometimes, but I mean, a lot of times characters are made up, characters are left out, things like that. So I don't know. I don't have that comparison. I've never read the book, so I don't know what they left in. I don't know what they took out, how true they kept to it. Even in comparison to the old movie, I'm just like, oh, well, they kind of did this a little different from the old movie. I have that comparison to make, but I don't know if the old movie held more true to the book or the new movie did. So that's where I'm left with that. I actually didn't have any desire to get into the books until after watching the re-release of Dune. And then I watched the old movie. Now, my son, I tried to show him the old movie a long time ago when he was much younger. He wasn't into it. He lost interest quick. Now he wants to see it, so we'll probably watch that again soon. But while I was out thrifting, I found this. Now, this is the new copy. $18. This is an $18 book, brand new. This one's in really good shape. I found it for $2 at Goodwill. So I was like, well, $2, and it's the first Dune book. Now, when you're out thrifting at Goodwills and you're looking through books a lot, like me and my son do, you know what kind of books you run into a lot. Um, I have found it's been rare for me to find my Ian Fleming books. I'm still one book short. I need Live and Let Die. I will find it though eventually. But the first Dune book, you don't find it um, at Goodwills. I saw this one and I was like, well, it's not the copy I would have wanted. I really did like the old artwork on the books, but it's $2. I'm going to get it because I know I want to read it. Thus began my search for the other Dune books. And just over the last couple days, here's what I found. Next. I found the next book, book 2 of Dune, Dune Messiah, and some of the older artwork. And I paid 99 cents for each of these books I'm going to show you. So I got Dune Messiah, that's book number 2. I found book number 5, which is Heretics of Dune. There's that design of the worm. I love that design of the worm. I don't know why. It's just cool looking. Come on. All right, come on, man. All right. So I've got book 1, book 2, book 5. Now that's all I have of the original 6. And then you start finding books from the same author. So these are so The Green Brain. That's from the same author, from Frank Herbert. And they all say, by the author of Dune. I mean, that was, of course, his big hit. So The Green Brain, The Lazarus Effect, which is, as it says, the exciting sequel to the Jesus Incident. Well, look what I found. Jesus Incident. So I've got those 2 books. They go together. Frank Herbert, The God Makers. And then The White Plague. That's another one. Frank Herbert. All 99 cents. 99 cents a book. And then literally just yesterday I find this. Paul of Dune. Now this was written by Frank Herbert's son, and so Brian Herbert and Kevin Anderson. So Paul of Dune. Now this sounds interesting because what is it? Dune Messiah is book number 2 of the series, but this one, Paul of Dune, it says that this the direct sequel to Dune. So so on this it says Frank Herbert's Dune ended with, okay, all right, I'm not going to tell you how it ends. And then Herbert's next Dune book, Dune Messiah, picked up the story several years later. But what happened in between Dune and Dune Messiah? That's what this book is supposed to be. So I don't know if I should read this one first. I don't know. It was written later. Dune, House of Corino. The triumphant conclusion to a trilogy. Oh, House of Corino. Dune House Atreides. House Atreides. Winning saga. Let's see. Best-selling prequel to the classic award-winning saga by Frank. So a prequel? And then House Harkonnen. Dune House Harkonnen. It doesn't say which one this one is. Yeah, it doesn't say where that falls in the line. But anyway, so I have found, those are some of the Dune books I have found so far. So I'm actually on the mission to find the first 6. Any of the other books by this author I'll pick up and along the way. So thanks to these movies, I have now gotten into trying to find the books. I will probably start reading Dune now and see how that goes. Anyway, I do recommend Dune 2. I highly recommend it. And even if you thought Dune 1 was like I did, but you still liked it, okay, this one Dune 2 is going to impress you. I was impressed. I'm not easily impressed with movies. I was impressed. So give it a shot. Give it a shot. I hope this movie stays in the theaters for a good month or more. I really do, because a lot of people should see it. This is kind of one of the reasons why you go to the movies, to see something this big, all this crazy of a storyline. Um, it's got the intrigue, the political, uh, oh, yeah, the political elements to it. The of governments clashing and backstabbing and then not realizing that somebody is still alive and coming back to get them, and um, an uprising and culture, and then prophecy, and just all kinds of just crazy stuff going on that keeps this story rolling, and tons of action and visual effects. It's an amazing movie, and I highly recommend it on a big screen, for sure, for sure, especially if you know anything about doing it all when it comes to when they ride the worms. Come on, that is so cool. All right, we'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching this review. We'll see you next time.
Arrakis. Dune. Desert planet.